In this episode of SOO The Milwaukee Road, we take a look at a few updates that are taking place in the series, an M&S caboose artifact, as well as we dig through some locomotives, past projects, as well as present projects, including finding a way to replace the unreplaceable. All in this episode of SOO The Milwaukee Road. Alright, welcome back to SOO The Milwaukee Road. This is the beginning of Season 3. A couple updates for you. We did add a couple segments in the series itself. One of them is going to be referred to as Favorite Things, and the other is going to be referred to as the Curmudgeon's Gripe of the Week. The Gripe of the Week is just a tongue-in-cheek look at a lot of different things that go on in the hobby. I think a lot of people will be able to relate, so enjoy those segments when they come up. We've got a lot of other things to dive into, so let's stop farting around and start it up right now. Alright, we're just going to jump right into a few of my favorite things. One of them happens to be this M&S diamond behind me, and it's the Minneapolis Northfield and Southern. They used to have these hanging on the sides of their cabooses, and I thought, knowing the opportunity came up to purchase this particular piece, couldn't pass it up, and I didn't. I said, I'm going to hang that in my house. My wife said, okay, that's fine, and I was cool with it, she was cool with it, the crew was cool with it because it actually hangs in our crew lounge. And speaking of crews, one of the crews I sat down with and had the opportunity to chit-chat with was the AML crew. Now, if you don't know who the AML crew is, it's a Modeler's Life crew, which consists of Lionel Strang, Mike the Spoon Ostertag, and Bruce the Mailboy, along with a large cast of other crew members. But they're a great podcast to listen to. If you haven't listened to podcasts, I love listening to them, and this is one of my favorite ones in the modeling world. Now, you don't know how to get to them. If you have a smartphone or a dumb phone, you're able to find them on your smartphone. You can go to amodelerslife.com and you can scroll down and locate the episode you might like. If you want to hear the one that I was in, it was episode 126. It was a great, entertaining time to sit and talk about railroading, but they talk about more than just railroading. They talk about all kinds of things. They talk about life. They talk about things you're interested in. They talk about what you do. It just gives you a perspective of what us modelers, as well as manufacturers and other people that they interview, have interest in. So do check that out. Lastly, are these headphones. I listen to my podcasts on these Workforce 3M headphones. Nobody's paying me for any of these plugs. This is just legitimately some of my favorite things. These things are fantastic. You got kids, you can block them out. Easy. You don't hear a thing. It's fantastic. Makes it simple, makes it easy. These are Bluetooth. They connect right to your phone. If you're mowing the lawn, you're doing anything around the house, it's just a fun way to be able to block everything out and listen to a podcast. And in this case, A Modeler's Life. Definitely worth checking out. Check out the headphones. Check out A Modeler's Life. And check out this diamond behind me because I gotta go. Alright, we're checking to see who's dead or alive. Which locomotive did not make it to the 1986 merger? Was it A, 1009, B, 705, C, 2062, D, 2381, or E, 953? Alright, looking at the projects on the docket, the first one that I've actually been working on here is actually this GP35. I just recently got it this past weekend, so it means all the other projects have come to a halt. I'm not really working on this one yet. I was just looking at what I need to actually put into it. If I end up going to get detail parts, MU hoses, I need a front plow, I need a beacon, and I'm going to put LEDs in to replace the incandescent lights. A fairly decent model for what it is. It was a former Great Northern locomotive. It's a GP35, again, Athearn ready to run, and I couldn't get just one. I had to get a pair.
You just blew my mind.
So these two are actually going to run the BN transfer that comes into Raymond Avenue Yard with the Minnesota transfer. So that's the plan and the destination for those locomotives. And that's right, this locomotive is a basket case, and it is in an AccuRail lid. A lot of parts and pieces because this thing needs some work.
Well, good luck with all that.
One of the things that it didn't have when I first had purchased it is the top grills. So I needed to bend my own. The previous owner actually had purchased this, and it must have been in rougher shape because he definitely brought it up to speed and was able to do some stuff to it to make it look better, but said he couldn't find the grill. So I ended up looking online, and I thought, man, I can make a grill.
I grew up really want to go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you.
And what I ended up doing was picking up Keyser Valley models. Now, is Keyser the proper enunciation? I don't know. Is Scott Lupia the proper enunciation? I don't know. So sorry, Scott, if I butchered either one of those. You can find it at keezervalleymodels@gmail.com. And this is KV Models. These were the metal etched parts. I obviously took the grill. This is for an MP15 DC. This is an MP15 AC. I ended up taking that grill, cutting it up, modifying it, and creating the grills that you see here. So that's how I'm able to replace those grills on the back half of this locomotive. I'm going to get it all back together, and with that I have added a decoder. The decoder I wanted to go into real quickly here. This is a WOW motherboard that has Keep Alives on it. That's these capacitors here. 21 pin decoder. I believe I've got an ESU decoder on it at the moment, along with an iPhone speaker that's been slightly modified to be able to fit right where it's located. I can get the shell on and everything is all hunky-dory. I didn't put it on the end here because this actually is a weight. You can put a speaker there. I know Athearn actually puts their factory speaker here, but I end up leaving it here, trying to keep as much weight in the locomotive as I can to be able to obviously preserve tractive efforts. So that thing is working its way down the line. The next locomotive here is this gem, which is I'm actually been worked on for a fellow modeler that he asked to have it detailed up a little bit more. I ended up looking through the drivetrain on this. This is a Broadway Limited model that I had a similar issue with my dad's BN Broadway Limited switchers. This is the newer chassis than the one that was on my dad's, but when it came down to it, I went through, cleaned out all the contacts, re-soldered the wires, and it runs like a top. It runs fantastic. I'm really pleased with how well it is running. But this is needing some details west. We have air hose, we have MU hoses, I have cut levers, I have a Blatt air horn, a winterization window, and I also have the spark arresters that will go atop that the Milwaukee Road had. So this project is working its way along the line. And since we're talking about some of these models I've been working on, this is the Critter that I had worked on in the past. It still obviously does run. It needs its windows, but I've been slowly kind of chipping away at it, and I did add the decals to it. But it has a little bit more work to do as far as the window glazings. And this is the last locomotive we'll look at. This is the ST10 I'm in the process of putting together. This is a Lions West cab, and Todd Jones, again, I mentioned it before and I'll mention it again, but he does a fantastic job. I've been really pleased with his attention to detail. He even sent an additional set of replacement noses to be able to get the accurate nose. You can see on the front here, he moved some of the location of where the little holes and so forth are for the ladder. And detailed these things up beautifully. He has a few window glazings in here which will then apply and stick into the cab as well as into the number boards, but this thing will find its way again down the tracks as soon as I get into painting the orange and black. I have a couple of projects that need orange and black because I have Milwaukee Road equipment to paint. Alright, did you guess who's dead or alive out of this list? If you guessed A1009, you'd be correct. They were retired by the Milwaukee Road in 1984.
Alright, here's the curmudgeon coming at you for the gripe of the week. It's DCC is what we're going to be griping about today. I tell you, you try to figure out those CVs, you can catch an STD faster than you can figure out a CV. I tell you right now, DCC stands for Digital Crap Control. It is crap, I tell you, because I'm going to go back to DC. That's not a threat. I say I'm going to go to DC because DC is way better than DCC. I tell you, AC/DC didn't have two C's. Well, they did because it's A, a C, a D, and a C. But we're going to say AC/DC. It ain't AC/DCC. You see, I'm out of here. The curmudgeon's out.
Be sure and hit the like button. You can click here to subscribe. You can also check out other episodes of SOO The Milwaukee Road, as well as take the tour of the GN in 1970.